Fasting. What's up, team? Nsima the Centaur Inyang here, and in this video, we are going to talk about fasting. Now, let's quickly rewind because I want to explain to you guys why this series is called White Belt Mentality. Now, what is the white belt mentality? You may have heard Mark, Bell, and I talk about this on the Power Project in the past, or you may know what it is, but a 45-second explainer is this. In any type of martial art, a white belt is seen and is symbolized as being at the bottom of the totem pole. You're new, you're a blank slate, you're white, you know nothing. And if you want to improve as a white belt, well, you got to be inquisitive. You got to ask questions, and you shouldn't have an ego because you got to understand that you don't know anything. And the only way to improve is by taking in information and continuously learning. Now, when a lot of us become experts, you sometimes get to a point where you think you know everything, but that also stalls your knowledge. Okay? The white belt mentality is this. No matter how good you get at anything, always have the mentality that you're a white belt, that you can learn something new, that you can take in new information, and that's going to help you improve because guess what? Even though you're an expert, there's still things you don't know, and there's still things I don't know. Let's enter with fasting. If you were to ask me 3 years ago, Nsima, should I fast? Tell me about intermittent fasting. I would probably say, hey, research shows that if you want to have optimal muscle gains, you want to have even protein feedings during the day. And you'll probably lose a little bit of muscle over time because, it's not optimal and it's probably not the best for your performance. I mean, why would you want to work out fasted? Have some food in your stomach. But by actually doing it, picking it up and trying it out, I found that there are a lot of benefits. And at least for me personally, it's going to be something that I maintain probably for the rest of my life, at least for now. So let me give you a little bit of my diet history so you can understand where I'm coming from. When I first started lifting at 13 dang years ago, that's crazy. I started off with the bro diet. So brown rice, chicken, broccoli, asparagus, it makes a pea stink, tilapia, all these clean foods. I started off with that. 5 years later, I think that's when I learned about flexible dieting and IFYM, and I was like, this is godsend. I've been not allowing myself to eat these dirty foods, or maybe when I did, I'd always binge. But if I can just make these foods fit my macros, well, I can still get shredded and eat Pop-Tarts and fried chicken. And okay, everybody likes fried chicken. Pause. Not just me. Everybody likes fried chicken. I like fried chicken too. We're going to continue on here. I can eat all these foods and get the results that I want to get in terms of my body. And I did. I could. I tracked my macros and I got onto elite level conditioning on pro natural bodybuilding stages, and it worked great. But there were a few things that were not so great about flexible dieting for me, at least for me. I found that I was still very food focused. Okay, so my job at this point in my life, I work with people around the world online. So I'm in front of a computer for a lot of my day. And I would find myself being focused on my next meal. If my stomach would grumble, I'd be like, oh God, okay, it's time to eat. And I'd be so focused on that meal that I wouldn't be able to focus on my work. Not ideal, okay? The second thing was my discipline and self-control as far as high palatable foods were concerned. I still had cravings, and I was under the impression, and I thought that I'm gonna have these cravings for these foods for the rest of my life, for these high palatable foods like ice cream and pizza, foods that taste really good together. I would do things to make these foods fit, and we know that a big principle of flexible dieting is making sure that 85 to 90% of your foods is whole food. I would follow this a lot of the time, but I'd also find times to make these high palatable foods fit. So on certain nights, I'd grab a pint of Ben & Jerry's and make it fit my macros. We can all just kind of understand that that's not the best thing for long-term health. So, this is where fasting comes in. Now, quick rundown of something about intermittent fasting. It's not magic, okay? Fasting, let's say person A is fasting and person B is not fasting. Calories are equated between the two. Protein is equated between the two. It's all the same. If they're in a deficit of calories and they're eating the same amount of calories, one's fasting and one's not, they will both get to the same body composition in the long run. Understand that. It's not magic. The magic comes underneath with the habits that can be built. It's not magic, but I like to say it's magic. So let's start off with this. Why did I start with fasting? Why did I even pick it up? Well, I knew a lot of people that were like, Nsima, yo, I'm feeling so much more focus when I'm working, when I'm fasted. Like I can focus more. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm a person that likes to biohack. I like to figure out ways that I can be more productive. Maybe I should give this a shot a few days of the week. So I picked up fasting. I started off 16 hours a day and had an 8-hour eating window. Nowadays, it's more like 20 to 22-hour fasts. But I started off that way, and I did notice that I was able to focus my work better. I got used to the feeling of being hungry and not having to grab a meal. That in itself is extremely powerful, by the way, but I got used to that. And I wasn't always food focused. So that whole idea of being focused on my next meal, gone. Okay, gone. It wasn't a problem for me anymore. And that was huge for me because I was a guy who could eat so much and who always had my next meal on my mind. Already having that was huge. The main reason why, by the way, that fasting helps with focus is something called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Just pretty much it's a protein in your brain that is increased during fasting and it helps you focus more. So I was finding that I was having better focus. And even during jujitsu, when I would roll, I was more focused during my rolls. I had more clarity of mind. It was crazy the difference that I had. I talked about before, what's his name? George St. Pierre, GSP, talked about training fasted and how he felt more focused when he was fasted.
Time restricted eating and intermittent fasting. Now I feel better by training with an empty stomach. I feel sharper up here. I feel more creative. Especially in jiu-jitsu, I feel better. I feel lighter on my feet.
Really?
I can eat once a day is no problem. Like right now, I could do it. And I think it's good to be hungry in a way. I remember the doctor said something to me. He said, would you rather be like a lion that just had a full belly or an angry lion? I'm like, as a fighter, I'd rather be like a hungry lion. And it makes sense to me.
Now, next thing was my discipline and my cravings. I found that over time of fasting, since I had this large window of not eating food, in my eating window, I wouldn't crave. I found over time, I wasn't craving these high palatable sugary foods. I was really craving whole foods. I wanted steak. I wanted rice. I wasn't craving these bad foods. I know they're not bad. I know that even if sugar is equated and someone's eating a lot of sugar or not, if they have the same calories, they can get the same body composition. But as far as long-term health is concerned and control over food, this is huge. I didn't find the need to eat these foods anymore. I found a craving for whole foods. Just kind of crazy. And I have more discipline now with the food I eat than I did when I was doing flexible dieting. Now, you can still fast and track your macros like that. It's still flexible dieting, but you'll probably find, and I found this not just for myself, but for certain clients I work with and other individuals that report to me, that they feel overall better. They feel that they're not craving these foods anymore. How would you feel if you didn't ever really have a need to eat pizza, but when you wanted it, you could have it without issue? You didn't have a craving for sugar. That would be great, wouldn't it? I think it is, and I think that you'd probably agree. And some misconceptions that I was wrong about and that I found to not be true. Training while fasted. I do jiu-jitsu and lifting on the same day while fasting, and my training sessions are great. I pulled a RPEPR, so rate of perceived exertion, personal record of 725 on the sumo deadlift while fasted, and I did jiu-jitsu the day before and the night of, and it's literally the strongest on my deadlift that I've been. I've been doing fasting for almost 2 years now, and I'm still around 245 pounds. I'm maintaining my body composition of 7.8% body fat easily at this point, and I never really thought I'd be able to maintain this without feeling like crap. So I believe that there are some underlying benefits there too. So yeah, I mean, if you train fasted, it's not going to hurt you. You probably won't lose muscle over time, even if you're trying to bulk, if you eat enough in your eating window. So if you have an 8-hour eating window and you're fasting 6 hours of the day, you can eat in a surplus in that window and you'll still be able to gain muscle over time. It's nothing to really worry about. So who is fasting maybe not for? I would say if you're very, very new to dieting, you're new on your fitness journey and you want to drop weight, the only reason I would say don't fast is because if you don't understand how much is in the food you eat, it's very easy to potentially develop a bad disorder as far as food. You might find that you're not eating enough in your eating window and you might eat too little food. So it's still beneficial to track your macros or have a little bit of flexibility in your eating window if you do choose to pick up fasting as a new dieter. But for all of you, if you like the benefits that I've talked about in this video, and there are even more, like autophagy, regeneration of cells in your body. It has health benefits in terms of longevity. I'm not going to go too far into that in this video, but if you like the things that I've talked about in this video, you may want to give it a shot. It might be something that is going to be really beneficial for you, as I found it to be for me. I'll have more videos going into more details in terms of fasting and the way I go about it, but I just wanted to give you some of the benefits that I've found and other individuals, clients I work with, friends that I have found from also picking up intermittent fasting. I thought it'd be useful for you. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and comment down below. If you have any more video ideas for the white belt mentality, comment down below too, and let me know if you do or if you don't fast and what you've seen for yourself. Let's build this community, and that's it for now. This is Nsima the Centaur Inyang from BreakTheBar.com. Be an anomaly, be yourself, be different, do your thing. Always have that white belt mentality, and I will talk to all of you very, very soon.